All right. Mhm. Okay. Can you all hear me now? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All right, guys. So it looks like you can hear me now. I want to apologize about the inconvenience. I still had my settings on for the Madden where I had to mute one browser, but thank y'all for letting me know. So we should be good now. So let me do my intro over. Welcome, welcome, welcome to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We're also streaming on TD Sports Talk. TD Sports Talk, time always tells. Got the merch just came in, so we're gonna get ready to get rolling on that platform as well. If you're new to either of the channels, make sure you subscribe to TD Fans Talk and TD Sports Talk. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. Shout out to the Mod Squad. I see everybody rolling in right now. Clemente 3472 in the building. Cease 007 is in the building. Love your brother. JD the Great One is in the building. Jose M. Curtis William, a member of the channel. Oh, the wife just came through. She said, can't hear you, baby. Hopefully you can hear me now. Love you, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. We're going to continue to enjoy our Valentine's Day. Steve Rose is in the house. I see y'all, man. Let me see. Let me hook some people up, man. I think it's about that time. We got Monty Fans. Yeah, we're going to add Monty. Just a few people. Mr. 305 for real in the house. Adding a few mods, y'all. Just adding a few mods coming through. Pete's take. You already know what time it is. Pete always. The sky is the limit in here. Triple S podcast. That's what's up. Ron McCray. Salute to you, my brother. Michael Simmons was good. We got to make sure you got the mod status. Love you also, man. You already know what time it is. All right. I don't know. Do you have Instagram? C007, hit me up, man. Tua GOAT, Tua 2023, 2024 MVP, man. You know how beautiful that would be if Tua wins the MVP next year. And that made me feel like we'll win a Super Bowl if he puts up that type of consistent performance. All right. But yeah, man, we'll see. All right, we got to get TD for his watch hours on TD Sports Talk. Thank you for that. Yeah, man, I got to get my watch hours up on TD Sports Talk. So anybody watching on TD Sports Talk, thank y'all so much. It's the same stream. So if you want to go over there, go ahead and log in. All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we cut the stream short early. It wasn't early. We did an hour and 45 minutes. But there were some questions that were unanswered that I want to answer today. And once I finish answering those, I want to continue to answer any questions you may have about the Miami Dolphins, as you see. But yeah, man, I want to answer these questions, answer them in great depth, and try to go a little deeper. Now, listen, guys, I give you the content that you want. I'm all about providing the content that you want, okay? So when I ask you, do you have any questions? That's an opportunity to tell me what you want, and I want to give you that content, okay? Because I know a lot of people, bro, I don't want to talk about Tua. We got free agency. We got this and that. Let's talk about that. You tell me what you want, and that's what we'll discuss. It just so happens every time that I ask what you all, do you have any questions? A lot of them do surface around Tua, and I'm not going to not answer them, okay? But without further ado, I do want to dive in and go ahead and handle some of the questions that were already asked. All right, so first question, can we win a Super Bowl with basic offense with Tua that McDaniel runs? First and foremost, we do recognize that we have run a basic offense. But I'm actually holding out hope. I'm holding out. Oh, I don't even have my phone. Babe, can you find my phone? I'm holding out hope. Sorry, y'all. That the first year was the first year. Make it basic, just what he can handle. And I'm hoping that McDaniel is the guru that we hope he is, and he can build upon that with the offense and create a scheme that is even better this year. Now, I understand the word hope because that's all we live in when we're Dolphin fans. But I'm not going to say we can win a Super Bowl with the same basic offense because it started to get figured out. But I will say that if McDaniel is the genius that we hope he is, and now that we're in year 2 of his offense, we're very optimistic that he can open it up a little more. Tua will be able to handle a little more. And, you can win a Super Bowl. The more options you have, the more, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. But we'll see. Time shall tell. But I'm not going to say we can't, but we have to let it play out and give McDaniel the opportunity that he deserves, okay? All right. See here. Let's go to question number 2. Why is this hidden on my screen? Give me a second. All right, there we go. And just FYI, this stream is brought to you all by BetUS. They are the official sponsor right now for the off season. So again, they are still offering the $50 of free play if you sign up to BetUS. So take advantage of that. You got the NFL props going pretty heavy right now. And I actually like that. It's a whole lot. I like that better than NFL in my opinion. All right. Ball game is nowhere to be found. LOL. Defense had no impact on the Super Bowl. Ball game is stuck in the old days, still outdated. He's not up to date with modern football these days. I let ball game speak for itself when he's around. But hey, that defense didn't play well at all. But anyway, let's move on, okay? All right, next question. Defense or offensive improvement? Which one would I prefer? I hate to disappoint you, but it has to be both. It has to be both. You can't win a Super Bowl with the defense playing the way that it did this year consistently. Now, to be quite fair, the games that we lost, majority of them were not any fault of the defense. Maybe you want to attribute 1, maybe 2 to the defense. But the rest of those games had nothing to do with the defense. It's kind of weird how that happens. Every game we won, the defense, they didn't even play great in all of those. They played well in some of them. But the games that we lost, maybe 1 or 2, the defense didn't play great. Other than that, they actually did their job. It was other factors. So the defense has to be better, and we got to be better at the linebacking core. Organic pass rush, that's going to be put on Vic Fangio's feet, laid right out in front of his feet. Figure out a way to get that done. Secondary, just in a decline. We got a whole bunch of new hopefuls that, shined. But, y'all, we do this every year. It's always somebody that's good that get hurt, and then the hopeful step in and look good, but then the next season they look terrible. So I'm not knocking any of these guys, Coleman, Kohus, all of them of the world, but at the end of the day, we'll see next year. That's when they make their name for themselves. Okay? We'll see next year. Y'all hit that like button. So time will tell next year, okay? But offense as well. I'm still concerned about the left guard and the right tackle. I think Chris Grier really needs to get that done. But not only that, let me say this. We don't have a running back under contract next year. So I look at Chris Grier maybe re-signing one of those guys, maybe both, but I believe one. And I think that they will draft a running back this year in the second round. Now, this is something I got to tell y'all about that I'm worried about. I could also see Chris Grier. This would be disastrous, but something tells me that our next year first round pick could be traded for a pick this year. Something tells me that our next year first round pick could be traded for a pick this year. And I hope not. I hope instead we'll use our second rounder this year and take another pick, like a 4th round pick, to move into the late first round. because I believe they might actually draft a running back or a linebacker this year late in the first round. I believe Chris Grier will try to attempt to get back in the first round this year. But the only way that happens is utilizing our second round pick this year and an additional pick to get in the first round, and it will be a late first round pick. And that may be for a running back or a linebacker. Otherwise, it could be a first rounder next year. And I don't like any of those ideas because I think that Chris Grier is in a Houston Texans situation where he doesn't care. He's going to spend all of our capital, all of our draft picks to try to build a winner, because I think he's at a critical point that if this fails, we're going to move on from him. At some point, enough has to be enough. If this rebuild fails next year or the year after, however long it takes, Chris Grier may not survive it. So he could very well end up doing a Houston Texans and saying whatever it takes, we'll spend whatever, trade whatever, just to try to go for broke now and try to do special. That's what I'm concerned about, is that Chris Grier no longer really is concerned about the future, because he has no future if we don't have a present. We have no future if we don't have a present. He has no future. Let me make sure I'm clear with that. He has no future if we don't have a present. But the problem with that is sometimes GMs screw an organization, and the organization got to wait 2-3 years just to get their bearings back. Because if he trades away our capital for next year and tries to go all out this year and it fails, think about if you do fire him, the next general manager, they have no assets. They have nothing. They have the same team with no assets to get better. And honestly, we just be going on a fire sale at that point. Teams that you recently saw do, well, the team that you recently saw do that out of anybody, the Houston Texans. Ever since they traded for Laramie Tunsil and they fired the GM and the head coach, I mean, has it been 3 years now? And they've been in that same rebuild stage. Like, they're in the early, 3 years you're supposed to be done with a rebuild. They're in the early rebuild stages still, only because they got rid of so much just to try to go for broke. They got rid of all their first round picks, the second round. They got rid of all of that. So then you just have to sit around and wait until your draft capital and money catches up. You got to wait till Tyreek's contract is gone, all of the big contracts. You got to wait till 2025 when you got your draft picks back. That's where we are right now. And Grier holds that key. Grier holds that key to where his success, he knows he has no future if he doesn't take care of this current present. So therefore, the future picks don't matter. And he ain't wrong for it. It's bad for the organization, for us. But if you put yourself in his shoes, you think the same way. Why would I care about 2024 picks? Because if I don't get it right this year, I may not be here for 2024. So screw the next GM. Let me go ahead and use his capital to try to save my job so I can be here, and I'll worry about the rest later. So do not underestimate draft capital getting traded away in this year's draft, or draft capital getting traded away for a player in a trade. Did y'all hear Tyreek's interview? This is the first time I actually heard the full extent of Tyreek's interview of the negotiations with the Chiefs and the Dolphins. I put it on Twitter, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. It really rubbed me the wrong way. Did y'all see that Tyreek interview? Let me know in the comment section. Yes or no in the comment section. My bad. I don't know what just happened. Nah, what'd he say? No. I seen it. All right, it's too many people that didn't see it. So what does that mean? Let me just show you the clip. Do you one better? I'll just show you the clip. You know, they get mad at me, man. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to put it on the screen. Share screen, window, Chrome tab, share audio, Twitter, share. All right, here we go.
I talked to Andy and I talked to PM. I talked to both of them. Like, I don't even need to be the highest paid receiver. I just want to be taken care of, and I want to stay, with Kelsey. I want to stay with Pat. I want to stay with my brother. Man, just make me 25 M's, match me with AJ Brown, and I'm cool with that. He was like, okay. They got it to 25 M's, but the guaranteed money wasn't looking right. Talk to Pat.
So the first part of this, they were good. He wanted to be with Kansas City. He wanted to be with his brother Kelsey and Mahomes. That's where he wanted to be. He won't be nowhere else. Period. Let's get all of that fake narrative out the way. He wanted to be there. He actually compromised with them and said, you know what, man, I ain't even got to be the highest paid. That's how much I want to be here. Give me $25 million a year. Give me $25 million a year. But the problem was the guaranteed money wouldn't add up. From what I understand, they were like 50 million or something like that guaranteed, basically 2 years. And he was like, come on, man. Y'all trying to give me basically a 4-year, 100 million, but you only want to guarantee that 2 years worth. He wants more. And I told y'all, I ain't paying no Tyreek Hill no 30 freaking million dollars. At best, I would give 25. I've been told y'all that. And that's steep. I feel like he's a 19, 20 million guy, but I understand your resume, you're going to set the market. And the man didn't even want to be the highest paid. He said, but at least match me with AJ Brown. Let's keep it there. 25 million he was willing. So watch this. But the guaranteed money wasn't adding up because they didn't want to, they were willing to guarantee him 2 years, but they wanted the flexibility to be able to get out just in case things weren't going right. Just in case they had trouble building a team around Mahomes spending all that money. They wanted the right, see, that's what organizations do. You keep the right flexibility. You don't strong arm yourself. You don't handicap yourself. You don't handcuff yourself and stuck in bad contracts. Okay? And y'all know that's proven. They just won a Super Bowl by turning down this deal.
He was like, yeah. He's saying the same thing, bro. We got to get you back. I'm like, yeah, bro. I want to come back, bro. Like, make the money right. Like, just make the guaranteed money sound right, at least right. So then, like, Miami had called. It was like, look, we just going to go all out.
Miami calls and say, look, we going to go all out. The Miami Dolphins call Tyreek agent, listen, we going to go all out. Basically, we going to overpay you. Listen, we going to overpay you. And we going to give up a lot of our draft capital to do it. We want you that bad. We need you that bad to hide the flaws of our quarterback. Because you ain't hiding the flaws of Patrick Mahomes. People think you are, but this year proved that. So Miami calls and says, we're going to go all out and give you the big bad so you can hide the flaws of our quarterback. Make him look better. You're more valuable to us than Kansas City because they don't need you. We do.
We're going to give you $72 million guaranteed. We just going to go all out. We're going to give you $72 million guaranteed.
$72 million guaranteed. Who going to turn that down?
And then I was like, bro, I can't turn that down. We actually told Kansas City what Miami offered, and Kansas City was like, "Nah, we just gonna trade him." That really goes to show how valuable I am to them.
Right.
You know, opposing to how valuable I could be to Miami. So
Correct.
I was like, just sign the deal. Let's get it done.
Thank you. The Chiefs knew how valuable you were to them. You were valuable, but not no 30 million. You weren't even 25 million to them. You weren't even, we don't value you to guarantee you 3 years worth of 25 million each. We don't. We don't value you that much. You're not that valuable to us. And they just proved that. But like Tyreek said, that showed me that I'm a lot more valuable to Miami. Why would you be more valuable to Miami than the Chiefs? The only reason you're more valuable to Miami than the Chiefs is because the Chiefs have a guy over there named Patrick Mahomes. And that guy makes you less valuable because he's the engine to that team. But over here in Miami, we have a Tua Tagovailoa. And therefore, you're going to be a lot more valuable. It's a shame. This is what's being said if you just read between the lines. He is what would make him more valuable to Miami than the Chiefs? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section. Why would Tyreek Hill be more valuable to Miami than the Chiefs?
Right.
You know, opposing to how valuable I could be to Miami. So to them,
right.
You know, opposing to how valuable that really goes to show how valuable I am to them.
Right.
You know, opposing to how valuable I could be to Miami. So
correct.
I was like, just sign the deal. Let's get it done. I talked to Andy and I talked.
It's that simple. It's that simple, man. And this is what I wrote on Twitter. Yeah, you know I ruffled a lot of feathers. I wrote this on Twitter on top of that video. I said the things we cheer about are the main reasons why we fail as an organization. Overpaying players just to hide flaws of another player. All you need to know is look at the Chiefs without Tyreek, Super Bowl champs. Could you imagine Miami without Tyreek? 6 wins at best. It's the quarterback, people. It's the quarterback, people. That's all you need to think about. Take away Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs, and we just witnessed what we get as a result. Take away Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins. I don't know what we'll get, but I'm going to let y'all assume, and your common sense is going to take over. And I can pretty much very well know what you think about that situation. And on top of that, even if you're this big lover of our quarterback, deep down in your gut, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the shame of it all. This is why we fail as an organization, because the very things that we cheer about every time are some of the main things of why we fail. Oh, we got Tyreek Hill. No, we're not pooping on Tyreek Hill. He is the top 3 receiver in the NFL, a NFL great, a soon-to-be Hall of Famer. He is that dude. But everybody got a price. Everybody has a amount that you should and shouldn't pay. And when you get into that realm of overpaying just to have them, you're breaking your principles because you're desperate. You're breaking your principles because you are desperate. You are desperate. Does Tyreek Hill, did he earn every bit of the $30 million this year? Absolutely. And that's the crazy part. Well, TD, if he earned the $30 million, then what's the problem? The problem is, look at the end result. It didn't move the needle. That's all I'm trying to say to y'all. So before my haters come in, oh, you're trying to take a poop on Tyreek now. No, sir. He was well worth the $30 million this year, but did it move the needle? Did it move the needle? Matter of fact, he was the only reason we matched the needle. He was the only reason we matched it. And that's the issue I have. We need to stop just letting Chris Grier sit here and fool us every time. I went and got Tyreek. Yay! We about to do this. What did it cost you? Everything. See, it's funny to me because some people are going to be mad about me bringing this up. And they're going to be like, God, dog, man, why can't you just be happy? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to ask those same people, what if we were paying Tyreek Hill $70 million a year? Would you be on board for that? They'll say, absolutely not. Then I'll say, what if we were paying him $40 million a year? Would you be on board for that? Absolutely not. Then I'll say, what if we were paying him $35 million a year? Would you be on board for that? No, I wouldn't want, no, that's too much. All my argument is simple. The $30 million and $72 million guaranteed was too much. At some point, you got to draw the line. You can't just go with it because we did it. You called it out. Truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, with all the talent that we brought in, this year was a failure. Making the playoffs wasn't an accomplishment. We failed. We met the same bar we did last year. We failed. People want to act like sliding into the playoffs because of the Jets game was another level. No, it was the circumstance that allowed that. If the same circumstance were there the last 2 years, we would have been in the playoffs. But we don't care as Dolphin fans. We just want to be slapped all in the face. And then whenever the season over, ask why. And right before you get the answer why, which ain't going to be positive, you go get, like I can tell you now, next month, free agency hit, Chris Grier go get a top linebacker, a free agency. Oh, boy. He go get, what's your boy in Minnesota? He go get Cook, the running back. Oh, boy. He can stop right there, and all y'all be going crazy. All you be going crazy. We got Dalvin Cook now. The running game about to take off. I keep telling y'all this running game ain't nothing if they don't fix this O-line. I don't care what back is back there. Chris Grier gonna go pull the trigger on Dalvin Cook and get you a middle linebacker and everybody, oh, Super Bowl. Oh, Super Bowl. If Tua could just stay healthy, oh, Super Bowl. And Chris Grier gonna go right back up there in the office and feel like the genius, like, yeah, I got him another year. They can't blame me for another year. And guess what? If Dalvin Cook runs well but doesn't run like the Dalvin Cook you wanted to have, the prime Dalvin Cook, it's gonna be like, yeah, we got him on the back end of his prime. He don't run like he did before. It ain't even him. Most of the running backs that we have are good enough backs and have been for multiple years. It's just his O-line. Chris Grier has never been able to take care of it. He continuously fails in taking care of this O-line. The only good piece he has on this O-line that he can say he's responsible for is Robert Hunt. Connor and Armstead, he paid money for. You don't get credit for paying money for a free agent. Okay, you negotiated and drew him in and got him to want to come to Miami. All that's good. But money talks more than anything. And you paid them. And you're about to pay Connor on an extension because his extension is up. Robert Hunt is the only thing you get credit for, and he was good since day one, even under Flores. You got to fix this O-line. You need to stop playing around in press conferences talking about Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson are still part of the plans of the future. We want them to compete and earn their... No, go get a left guard and a right tackle and be quiet. A real one. And go get some advisors that can maybe help you draft better in the trenches of the O-line. Our quarterback will be better for it. Our running game would be better for it. Our defense will be better for it because we'll have better time of possession. And you may not need the Tyreeks of the world because your guy has more time. The receivers have more time. But it doesn't matter because it's too late for that anyway. You done already put the investment in. You done already put the investment in. But it is what it is. This is what we got to live with. But I'm telling y'all, it's time to start getting nervous about Chris Grier, because at the end of the day, he's on the hot seat. And when a general manager that's been there that long is on the hot seat, he doesn't care about next year and the year after's draft capital, because he needs to get it done today for the future to even matter. And if he doesn't get it done, he's not going to be able to take those future assets with him. So he's going to go for broke. He's trying to save his career. He's going to go for broke. It's just how it works. And if it doesn't work, stuff like that is bad for the organization, because when we do fire him, if it doesn't work out, now we're looking at a Miami Dolphins situation where we have no top capital. We can't win. We got to bring in a new GM. That new GM ain't going to fire the same coach that ain't winning with all the talent Chris Grier gave him. And that new GM ain't going to be looking to do nothing but start over and do it the way that they vision it. This is a vital year, ladies and gentlemen. And how can Chris Grier save his job? He has to take care of those trenches without neglect. He can't go in saying, I hope that we can figure this out or figure that out. He has to take care of these trenches without neglect. No neglect whatsoever. He has to. And I ain't talking about get a few middle of the road players. He need to go get some of the best at the right guard and the left guard and the right tackle position. It's that simple. So when it comes to the question of defense or offense, which one would I rather improve? It has to be both. It has to be. People don't understand the circumstance of this year. Not only do we need to improve greatly, but even our improvement could be a wash because the level of competition, man, the strength of schedule this year, we are number 2 in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. We are number 2 in the NFL on strength of schedule. Now, I know things change and X, Y, and Z, but I don't see the NFC East getting any worse. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl and they got first round picks. They got a lot of money. How they do that? Cowboys still going to be a tough out as always. Now the Cowboys is what I'm worried about, because the way they play defense is right down the alley of what we don't do well. The Cowboy, I told y'all this last year. If we play teams like the Cowboys, we are in trouble from an offensive standpoint. I would fear a defense like the Cowboys more than I would fear San Francisco and the Chargers. They are gritty, grimy, man-to-man. Hey, we'll take our chances. But that pass rush coming. See, these teams aren't going to just fold. You don't think the Giants aren't going to get better playing good, sound football with the capital that they have? And last but not least, we just got to hope Washington doesn't turn the corner, because they were a solid team. They just were the ones who crumbled at the end. It's funny because their division is very similar to ours. Very similar to how ours is. And that's just the NFC East, and we're not talking about our own division. We still can't get over the Buffalo hump. We still can't get over the Buffalo hump. The split we had in the regular season was null and void with the loss in the playoffs. We still can't get over the hump. And the funny thing is, we're victims of what Buffalo was victims of. Buffalo has been building their team for 3 years to beat one team. What team is that, y'all? What team has Buffalo been building to beat for 3 years? And I know y'all know. Come on, y'all some football heads. They have been relentlessly building to beat the Chiefs. Nobody but the Chiefs. And I told y'all 2 years ago, The problem with Buffalo is they're building to beat the Chiefs, and that's why 2 years ago the Titans smoked them, because they were no match for the Titans the way that they're built, because you were building for the Chiefs. This year, the Bengals smoked you because you were no match for the Bengals the way they're built, because you were built for the Chiefs. I have every bit of confidence you would have beat the Chiefs, just like you did in the regular season when you beat the Chiefs. But the problem is you keep on looking to beat the Chiefs when other teams are better suited to beat you, instead of becoming a great, well-rounded team. But guess what? The Miami Dolphins are in an era where we continuously are only building to beat Buffalo. We are sitting around here building to beat Buffalo when we ain't going to beat no Chiefs. We ain't going to beat no Bengals. Man, it might end up we ain't beating the Jets. We just focused on getting over the Buffalo hump. You know why? Because all our mind is on, because if we can win the division, is you're focusing on the big dog in the division when you need to realize that that big dog ain't as big as it seems, because they were a small dog compared to the real big dogs. Buffalo is a small dog compared to the real big dogs now. Cincinnati and the Chiefs are the real big dogs. And Buffalo ain't up there with them. And we're fighting to compete with the level under the big dogs. What are we doing? This is why. This is why we're constantly in this state. This is why we're always in this situation. And Buffalo got exactly what they wanted, a victory over the Chiefs in the regular season. Where did that get them? That ain't get them nothing, but I hope we see the Chiefs in the playoffs. Sorry, you can't get there because the other teams who you never even saw coming, because you were tunnel vision on that one team. And the Miami Dolphins have been tunnel vision on Buffalo. Buffalo. That's why this team got all bent out of shape and start feeling like, oh, we got something, because we beat Buffalo in week 3 last year. We thought we had something with their depleted secondary. That's why we went on this high of, yeah, we the team now. I think we could beat anybody now, because we thought we got over the Buffalo hump when their secondary was injured. And even when their secondary got healthy, we lost, but it wasn't by much. And we thought, yeah, but we're there, though. We're competitors now. You know, we used to get blown out. Now we're competing with them. We are literally fooling ourselves focusing on the Buffalo Bills when they can't even contend with the big dogs. And we think it's victory for us and progress because we actually succeeded in what we were trying to accomplish. But what we were trying to accomplish was so small of a goal and minuscule. We're thinking it's the big goal. We're thinking it's a big goal. It's sickening. Saying how you build. Nobody picked the Chiefs to win this year. Y'all do realize that, right? Everybody, you know, they might go to the AFC Championship, or this is the year that they, you know, regress. They go to the division round. But they won a Super Bowl, and you know why? Because they're not building to beat anyone in specific. They're building to be the best team they can be, play sound football. They're not chasing anyone. They weren't the favorite. Nobody saw them winning the Super Bowl, but they did. Give me a second, y'all. If Hill becomes a 4-4 guy, is he still top 5? I don't know. I don't get into that because he's not. So, I'm not sure. TD, I think we all agree we have a top tier roster, but that means nothing without a reliable quarterback. We deserve better. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Daniel, but we don't have a top 5 roster. I mean, a top tier roster. We don't have a top tier roster. See, this is what everybody failed to realize. We had a top tier roster under Flores because of the scheme he wanted to run outside of the O-line. The type of players. See, Flores made a whole bunch of guys like the, Zylers and all in the, what's his name? The linebacker with all the hair. I don't know why I'm running a blank. Y'all gonna tell me in just a second. Those kind of guys, Van Ginkles, yeah, and all. See, Flores made all of them look very valuable. You see what I mean? Like the scheme that we ran made a lot of people look valuable. Ogba looked valuable. Wilkins, Zeeler, Van Ginkel, what's his name? Brandon Jones, Javon Holland, Jerome Baker on blitzes, X as always. You see, the scheme we ran made all of them look valuable. But nobody's talking about the fact that was Javon Holland as impactful this year as he was the last 2 years? Maybe y'all think he was. Let me ask y'all. Was Javon Holland as impactful? Still a good player, but was he as impactful this year as he was in the past? I know Brandon Jones got hurt, but before he got hurt, was he as impactful this year as he was in the past? Was Van Ginkel as impactful as he was in the past? Emmanuel Ogbah in 9 games with his 1 sack this year ain't even close to being as impactful as he was in the past. Zach is still good, but was he as impactful as he was in the past? Shockingly, Jerome Baker actually had a solid year this year, though. So I'm going to leave that one alone. I guess for some reason, Jerome Baker had a solid year this year, which was crazy to me. And Christian Wilkins just absolutely beasted, but that could also be attributed to the natural progression of a true first-round pick. But I got to give the coaching staff credit because it happened on their watch. He was good last year. But this year, he went to a whole nother stratosphere, becoming one of the top elite players, in my opinion. Still not top 5, but one of the that's what's funny to me. Let me say this. Christian Wilkins was one of the best players on our team this year, but he still wasn't top 5 in his position. And you know what's funny? It's so hard for Dolphin fans to hear something like that because of how much he beasted. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There are guys in the NFL that beast more than him at that position. It's funny to me because it's hard for Dolphin fans to understand that Christian Wilkins was such a beast. How didn't he go to the Pro Bowl? Because there are other beasts in the league, and some of them are just a little better. And be honest with you, some of them are a lot better, but he's still beasted. Wilkins could be the best D-line player right now. What you mean could be? He is the best D-line player right now. But that's crazy. Our best defensive, honestly, he was the best defensive player on the team this year. When I sit back and I think about it, Christian Wilkins was the best defensive player on the team this year. Ain't that crazy though? The best defensive player on our team ain't even top 5 in his position. Did anybody go to the Pro Bowl from our defense this year? I'm trying to think. All right, I got it. Yeah, we know X went to the Pro Bowl, but ladies and gentlemen, come on. You plugged it in? All right, thanks. My bad, y'all. I'm having a mic issue. Pull it. All right. All right, we good? Testing. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I don't think they can hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can y'all hear me? Somebody give me an indication. Yeah. Okay. My bad, y'all. Having a little issue. The cord got pulled out. Listen. Chubb did make it, but did Chubb make it as a Dolphin? Did Bradley Chubb make the Pro Bowl because he was a Dolphin? Because of what he did with the Dolphins? Basically, you can say Chubb made the Pro Bowl. Basically, you can say Chubb made the Pro Bowl because of what he did before he came to the Dolphins. It's that simple. That does give me hope, though. How Chubb will perform with Fangio. That's what I'm real hopeful that turns out to be a blossoming flower. It'll be beautiful. That's what I'm hoping that he goes off. But I do have to ask this question. Who's starting next year? Who's starting next year? Or are they going to move Ogba back on the inside? Who's starting next year, y'all? Because do you think we're going to stick with a 3-4 or we about to switch to Fangio and go with 4 on the line? I'm trying to figure this out. All that money they giving Ogba and what? You can't make Ogba on the interior in a 4-2. You're not going to put Ogba on the interior in a 4-2. Trading Ogba, are you kidding me? The money that he's going to make coming off of an injury, who's trading for that? Or are we about to do a Tannehill deal and pay most of the salary? So you got a pet player you paying that kind of money to coming off the bench? Y'all say Ogba coming off the bench? You see what I'm talking about? All this mismanagement of resources. And another thing we need to consider, Chubb and Phillips, these guys are outside linebackers. They aren't typically in the 4 down coming. They typically also back out. What I'm most concerned about is if we go 4 on the D line, our run defense at that point. I am highly concerned about our run defense now. 5 on the line, I like Christian and those guys up the middle. 4 on the line, now they get trapped. Now they get double, they seal blocked. 4 on the line, I'm going to actually go out on a limb and say Christian Wilkins may not even be as potent as we want him to be. When we got that 3-4 and we got the 5 guys on the line, y'all got to understand the scheme that we run. Them 3, when you put 5 on the line, it's making the old lineman say, it's like when the offense got 5 offensive linemen and no tight ends, they basically all know who they got. So now everybody get one-on-ones. But when you're 4 on the line, now the offensive line is scheming, and they got a guy who can help either way. My bad, y'all. I got to figure out what's going on with my cord. I'm worried about the run D if we go 4-3, especially with a Fangio system running the underload, which means he's actually on the weak side. He's overloading the weak side and not the strong side, which is it. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy to me. You basically making the strong side of the offense more vulnerable, which all you got to do is just run the ball that way, and the cutbacks are nasty too. But again, this is early stages. We got to see what they're going to decide to do. T. Rich said putting 4 on the line is playing to the strength of the team. T. Rich, you couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. T. Rich said the strength of the team is no longer the DBs. I agree. Tell me what the strength of the team is, T. Rich. It ain't the D-line either. We don't have an organic pass rush, and the only way we get there is if we're running a Flores-led system, not a 4-3 type system. You got this way backwards, in my opinion, T. Rich. I feel like this makes the D-line more vulnerable. And a matter of fact, the Fangio system relies on the secondary in the organic pass rush. He has more coverage in the secondary. A lot of cover 4 and cover 6. He's all in the secondary. He's trying to confuse you in the secondary. Imagine Zeeler and Wilkins always on the field. What good does that do, T. Rich, when they getting double teamed? In the 3-4, where we put the 2 guys on the outside, where it's 5 guys on the line, you have less double teams because the O-line has to account for a lot more early on. 4 down linemen, they ain't got to account for as much. You can get a solid double team. And like I said, another thing to consider, T. Rich, say you do have say you do have Zeeler and Wilkins on the field at the same time. Then who are the other 2? Who on the outside of them? Who's going to be on the outside of them? Linebackers will get more QB sacks if we run 4-3. What linebackers? That's the point I'm making. We don't have great linebackers. That's why we ran the scheme we ran to begin with. And T. Rich said Chubbs and Phillips. Now, where's Ogba going, T. Rich? All that money on Ogba, and you got him coming off the bench? It's what I'm talking about. Mismanagement of resources. Mismanagement of resources. It's going to be real interesting to see how it works, though. Ogba got to start at the end position. I agree. So the other end, who's starting? Got to be Chubb, right? So is Jalen Phillips taking the back seat? Is he the rotation guy? So now you got Jason Phillips, your first round pick, in in a flex specialty role or something. He's supposed to be the future. This year 3, he's supposed to be getting dominant snaps. He's supposed to be playing 80% of the game in year 3. Chubb is a linebacker, not a DN. Stop. You see what I'm saying, y'all? I agree. He is a linebacker in a 3-4 rushing scheme where he can line up on the edge as if the end. Chubb ain't sitting back there in coverage primarily. Trade Phillips for Jackson. What Jackson? Which Jackson we talking about here? Chubb is a rushing linebacker, same as a defensive end in 4-3. Exactly, but that's my point. He's on the end. He's one of the end rushers in the 4-3. You still got another 2 linebackers behind him. The only difference is he ain't putting his hand in the dirt. He's standing up. Fangio will figure it out. Isn't he a defensive genius? Yeah. But here's the deal. Sometimes y'all need to realize who's a big part of the scheme and who's not. You know what I mean? You got to realize, okay, well, these guys actually don't fit this scheme. These guys do. With Melvin back, we can start Chubb at outside linebacker and Phillips in the dirt. See, y'all need to stop this once again. Stop saying outside linebacker. Y'all making it seem like a traditional 4-3 where he's on the second level on the outside, not coming to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be on the line of scrimmage. He is not a linebacker that's sitting back there seeing for the run or the pass. He's getting sent. They don't want him sitting out there veering in coverage the whole game. That's all I'm saying. And another thing, this defense isn't primarily going to be the 4-3 that y'all thinking. It's more of like 4-2. It's going to be cover 2, cover 4, cover 6. So pre-snap, you're actually going to see a lot of 2 linebacker sets. It may look like nickel, then they're gonna go to cover 6. It's gonna look like nickel, it's gonna go to cover 4. They're gonna switch it up. What you see pre-snap ain't what it's gonna be. But one thing I will tell you, Chubb coming for the quarterback 80% of the time. He's not dropping back in coverage more than 25% of the time. So they're gonna always account for him as a defensive end on the defense. Anyway, we'll see, man. It'll be real interesting. I'm putting my faith in Vic Fangio to figure it out. I just think that he's gonna need to shift some of the personnel to make it work. He may have to shift some of the personnel. TD and a 4-2, who's starting at defensive tackle? Sealer or Davis? Raekwon Davis has played very poor. See, that's the problem. They got to get out of that 3-4 because they still don't have a true nose. We still don't have a true nose. That's one of the biggest problems. They went and got Benito Jones. They had Raekwon. I mean, they had some guys they were hoping to fill that role, but we just didn't get a true. Well, an immovable force. We couldn't find. We just haven't been non-successful doing it. Zeller is true nose. No, they've used him as a defensive end. They've tried to put Raekwon in the middle and put Zeller and Christian as the ends on the side of him. Isn't Wilkins a nose? No, he a defensive tackle, not a true nose. To me, it's kind of rare. It's more rare than people think to have a true guy that's an immovable force hold that middle down and don't get pushed backwards on double teams. At least at a minimum, I'm staying still, fighting, and not get pushed back. In best case scenario, just obliterating the middle. Not to get a sack, not to stop the run, but to change everything you're trying to do. No, he can't play nose. He is not big. He's not strong enough to be playing nose. It's a different, and he's not big enough. It's a different, those are different kind of guys, man. Y'all got to understand. True nose tackles, yeah, you can have a tackle nose tackle. I mean, you got a title, but a true nose, like I said, they're immovable on double teams. If they get double teamed, they're not going backwards. They're at least just holding you up right there. No penetration. And if they're not getting double teamed, they're obliterating the middle just to push the pocket back. Christian Wilkins, more speed and finesse. Hands, and you're getting in there, making the moves. Great finesse. They're not nose tackles. Christian Wilkins can be moved. I've seen them getting moved backwards several times. I mean, we're talking about guys that's 355, 360. Not the 320s. Not the 298s. Not the 310s. That's what we needed to make this defense unstoppable. That's what you needed to make the defense unstoppable in Flores' system. But that is the one thing he just couldn't get. He just couldn't create. He couldn't develop. We tried it all. Raekwon was supposed to be the answer, but it ain't working out that way. And that ain't to say Raekwon don't have a future, but it didn't fill the role for what Flores envisioned. Next question. Can we play better next season? Absolutely. We can absolutely play better next season, but we could also play worse. We should play better just from general growth, just natural progression. But it's going to be interesting to see how well we play with our schedule being much harder this year. Oh, man, I can't wait for the schedule to be released. This is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be an interesting year. I can't wait to see the schedule and then just the order of the games, what our road trip looks like. I can't wait. Miami #1 offseason target outside of a quarterback. That is a great question. I can tell you what I think it should be. Then people will kill me for this. They definitely gonna kill me for this. Our #1 offseason target, in my opinion, needs to be a cornerback. Gosh, why does my thing keep on going in and out? Get my camera back. But my #1 offseason target, I would go get the best cornerback I can get. Why do I say that? Because that position to me is going to be more valuable than all the other need positions of the immediate future. What we're not thinking about as Dolphin fans are the long term. Like we're saying, let's address the holes we have now, right? But people don't see on the horizon how many holes we have in the near, not far, but the near future in major positions where we got Pro Bowlers right now that won't be here 2 years from now or even a year from now. What I don't want to do is go back to the days where our offense isn't great, but it is nice enough to win games, but we can't stop nobody to save our life in the secondary. And we started to see that this year, if you want to be honest. Y'all remember when we got desperate and said, we need a corner. And what do? We ain't go get one. We went and got two. Vontae Davis and Sean Smith. And even after that era, we couldn't figure it out. We end up getting Kenny Stills. And y'all remember the days where the offense wasn't bad. They were good enough, but we couldn't stop anybody to save our life in the secondary. And people think just because we got two on the roster right now that we straight. Don't learn the hard way, people. Don't let Byron get traded and you go into next year thinking Cole Who is the answer and he gets smoked all year. Let's be honest. Cole made a lot of plays this year, but let's not act like he still didn't get smoked a lot. He had a lot of pass breakups on the number 2s and number 3s around the league. But let's still not act like he didn't get smoked a lot. It is too early to be thinking that he's going to be the equivalence of a Byron Jones. It is too early to think that he can be the replacement for X. Man, miss me with that Carol City 305. Talk about Jones did too. Jones don't get cooked like that, bro. See, bro, we've already proved this. I done did film a year ago on this when somebody tried to make that argument. What y'all don't realize is we'll watch a whole game of Byron Jones. Byron Jones will lock down his side for most of the game, and every completion that he gives up is in front of him on a 3rd and 10 for 7 yards, and he come up and make the tackle, and they got a punt. Then all of a sudden, the one play that he get burnt for 2 yards for a touchdown, oh, Byron Jones always getting burnt. This is what we do. Byron will lock his side down all day, and the one big play he give up, he's getting burnt. But X can go out there and get burnt 8 times in a game and get 1 pick, and he the savior, and he had a great game. Y'all kill me with that. You saw it this year. X was getting burnt more than Kohu. Yeah, X was trash. Man, you know what? For X to get the money he getting and to be at the level he's supposed to be at, technically he was trash this year. Technically, for what you expect from him, he was trash this year. But if he surprised you and get that one-off pick, oh, all is forgiven. Y'all got to stop. Man, Byron Jones is more valuable than y'all have ever treated him in Miami. And truth be told, X don't never go off like that unless Byron on the field anyway most of the time. Bro, it could be your position. You can know what to look for all you want. But I'm looking at film myself, and X is not getting burnt. I mean, Byron ain't getting burnt all day. Byron is not getting burnt all day. Only time Byron giving up completions is when we zero blitzing and he 10 yards off the line of scrimmage at the first down mark and he give up a 5-yard catch and he run up and tackle you. You got 7 yards, but you still punting the ball. That's scheme. He was going to give up that pass. That's schematics. That's schematics. All I'm saying to you is Byron Jones, ain't no corner on this team outside of X is better than Byron Jones. That's the only point I make. So we could talk about who get burnt and who don't, but ain't no corner on this team better than Byron Jones outside of Xavier Howard. TD, who better in the slot, Nick or Kohu? I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta go Nick Needham. Nick Needham right now. Kohu gave us a lot of great flashes, but it's the same flashes Nick Needham gave us when he was in that position at a young age. But Nick Needham, the next year after we discovered who he was, because don't forget, we were doing the same thing about Nick Needham. Ooh, look at Nick Needham. Who is this guy? He's playing great football to be an undrafted or whatever he was player. The next year, he took a whole new level when he was actually like a lockdown nickel. So I need to see Kohu's next year. But my problem here is the boundary. The boundary, not the nickel. We are good in the nickel because they talking about they want to explore bringing back Needham because he was on a tender. Needham is the better guy now, and I agree with you, Carol City 305. Needham is the guy now, and Kohu, if I'm the team, you have him as the backup and let him keep developing. And if he keeps on showing a high level of play, now you can save money and go Kohu. But right now, Needham is the guy. Now it hurts they got injured because hopefully he comes back and he's the guy. But the one thing I'll tell you, Needham gonna put the work in. Every time I go to training camp, Needham is there on that field at the practice every single day, putting the extra work in. If Tua has the same season next year but no injuries, what do you think? Let me say this, Kevin. If Tua has the same season next year but no injuries, then unfortunately, the 4 games that he missed this year, the 4.5 or 5 or whatever it was, that's going to determine it all. Because the Green Bay game, the San Francisco game, and the Chargers game, the Pittsburgh game, these are the trash games, by the way. In the first Patriots game, in my opinion, those 5 games, they don't define his whole season. They aren't good looks. But the 4 games that he missed, 4.5 games he missed, that would define his future. Somebody said 5.5. Jets, Patriots, Minnesota, Jets again. It was 4.5. He missed 4.5 games, not 5.5. Unless I'm missing one game, y'all gonna have to let me know what that is. Bengals was the half. It was 4.5 games he missed. Am I tripping, y'all? But what I'm saying to you is this: the 4.5 games he missed, if 3 of those games are Lions, Bears, Browns, Baltimore-ish, then I like that. It still ain't elite because you had those 5 bad games, but it gives you a more respectable season. What Tua did this year, it wasn't respectable. It left you saying, we still don't know. Good or bad. We saw him play really good, but we also saw him play really bad. So we still don't know. But if he's 3-1 or 3.5-1, or however you want to call it in those games, or let's say 4-1, and let's just call it 5 games. If he's 4-1 in those games and he still had the San Francisco and all of that, that's still that shows that's good. It's still good. It's still good. Them games don't define them. It happens. Not good, but overall, hey, you roll with that. Because it's still 12 wins, 13 wins. So that's, and how it happened, that's straight. I ain't going crazy like he or Mahomes or nothing, but hey, good job, Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins this year. That's how I look at it. You were a Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and you played solid. Let's keep going with them. That's how I would look at it. Outside of Mahomes, all the elites played really good and really bad. I disagree, T-Rich. It's about 5 quarterbacks in the league that was a little more consistent this year. Jalen Hurts was a little more consistent this year in his average play. Joe Burrow was a little more consistent this year in his average play. Technically, what's his name? Herbert, even with the injury and the depleted team, was a little consistent. Wasn't off the chart this year, but at least was consistent. They didn't have Chargers-like games 5 times. They didn't have the Chargers, San Francisco, and all of them games 5 times. Kirk Cousins, same thing. He didn't have those kind of games 5 times this year. 4 times. Not even 3. Hey, who cares? Who cares? Look at it. Look at this. Say, oh, T-Rich. Oh, she don't get me mad today, T-Rich. This is the type of stuff I be talking about. Y'all read the screen. Read the screen, because I'm about to cook T-Rich for about a good minute and 17 seconds. Then I ain't going to talk to him right now. But I'm about to cook him. I want y'all to read the screen. You see what I be talking about? The biggest, this that contradiction crap I be talking about. This that contradiction stuff I be talking about, y'all. You know I'm about to cook you for what you just said, T-Rich. Burrow has several bad games. He just caught fire late. What the heck you think Tua did in Baltimore? The man started out the game with 2 interceptions in the first half. Looked like a bum. Baltimore was literally eating him for lunch. Same thing with Tua in Baltimore. Let me walk around here and talk about Baltimore was a bad game. He just caught fire late. Oh, you a hater. Why you got to be hating, man? Oh, you hating. Get out of here with that. Yeah, he threw 6 TDs. But the same difference with Burrow. It don't matter if you catch fire late. Come on, man. Come on, T-Rich. He's saying, I'm saying Joe Burrow had bad games early in the season and caught fire. No. See, Burrow had his first game where he threw all them picks and y'all start pooping on the man. His first game when he threw all those picks, y'all start pooping on him. Y'all judged Joe Burrow off of that first game for the longest this year. From what I remember with Burrow, he had 2 bad games at the beginning of the season and never had another bad game all season. I think in like the first 6 games, he had 2 bad games and never had another bad game in the rest of. I know that first game versus Pittsburgh and that second game, who was it against? He had a bad game against somebody because Chase got hurt or something like that. I want to say Baltimore. Because somebody will argue and look what Tua did to Baltimore versus Burrow. So it had to be Baltimore. It had to be the Baltimore game. That man had 2, you know what? Let me look it up. Let me go to Joe Burrow PFF. I guarantee you it's that Pittsburgh game, and I think it was Baltimore they were talking about. Hold on, it's coming up. Let me see. And I'm going to share screen. Hold on. All right, it's coming up. Here we go. Let me see. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Like I said, let me pull this up. Let me share my screen. Man had 2 bad games all season. Y'all love trying to discredit people. 2 bad games all season. Look at this. Somebody come look at this. First game, Pittsburgh threw 4 picks and almost won that game. Don't forget that. You want to talk about catching fire. Look at the rest of the season. Look at the rest of the season, people. Talk about caught fire late. Ain't nobody want to hear that. That man been on fire all year. He lost Chase in that, I believe, in that Baltimore game. And that's when it was, no. He lost Chase. Dang, I forgot when he lost Chase. Look at this. Talk about, man, get out of here, man. That man had 2 games under 60. The rest of them, look at, man, don't even, man, T-Rich, stop speaking. Stop speaking, T-Rich. You in timeout, T-Rich. Stop speaking. Look at the EPL. Look, man, I see Christmas colors. Green, I'm looking at green. Blue, I don't know blue Christmas colors, but yeah, you get my point. Look at this, man. Talk about he caught fire late. Are you kidding me? Ever since week 6, he ain't oh man, week 6 is late. Week 6 is late. He caught fire late. Look at week 6 to 17, 11 games straight. Talk about caught fire late. Caught fire late, my behind. Look at the playoffs. He was on fire. Look at the playoffs. 3 weeks in a row. Out of here, man. Talk about caught. He was bad early in the year and caught fire late. Man, stop it, T-Rich. You stop that mess, that foolishness. I can't believe he passed 71 times in week 1. I remember that he kept driving down the field and throwing a pick, driving all the way down the field and throwing. And it was weird, too, because he was just throwing it right to the defenders on crossing routes. He lost Chase midway through the season. Okay, and what did he do when he lost Chase? What was it? This little stretch of still good play right here in the middle? Still good play. Look at all of this green and blue. Green, but he even got some teal up in there. Green, blue, and teal. Only 2 marks outside of green and blue. Only 2. Yeah, but you want to see a freaking color sheet? You want to see a color sheet? That's what you call a color sheet. Equal opportunity color sheet. Tua Tagovailoa, that's what you call an equal opportunity. And y'all, see, this is what I be telling y'all. They get all excited. Oh, the Bears, the Browns, and the Lions. Little stretch right here means that he's a franchise. This is what they use to say he a franchise quarterback right here. Y'all see it. Oh, this right here, this little bubble right here make him a franchise quarterback. This little bubble right here. And look at this. He was bad the same weeks Burrow was. Week 1 and week 5. Then he start firing up like Burrow, but he couldn't last. He couldn't last. Oh, he can be a franchise quarterback right here. There you go. That's what made Tua a friend. This what made us pick up the 5th-year option. This what made us give him a 5-year, $300 million contract right here. That's what they trying to say. 81.9. Started out at a 96 around this area. Tua was a 90. He was like a 96 something. Right in this area. And look how quickly he dropped to 81.9. I wanted him to finish the season. I feel like it probably would have went lower. The one thing that's funny is Tua escaped 3 games with the best defense in the league. Y'all notice that? 3 out of his 4 missed games were the best defenses in the NFL. 2 of them were the Jets and 1 of them were the Patriots, and we already see what he did versus them in week 1. He escaped. 3 out of the 4 games he escaped were the best defenses in the league. 2 of them with the Jets and 1 with the New England. 2 of them might have ended with a 75 this year if he would have played them games. But if was a fifth, I'd rather drink wine. It didn't happen, so you can't look at it that way, TD. You're right. You's right. You's is right. You is right. Yeah, neither of them were perfect. But I'm sorry, what Joe Burrow did this year, that's a high level of consistency. So when T-Rich makes a statement as if outside of Mahomes, nobody really played like that consistently, that's not true. You just saw Joe Burrow had a consistent level of good, solid play all year. I don't care if you were a 75, but all year, that's consistent play. But you can't be no 91 week, a 50 another, a 81 and a 62 another. You can't have these roller coasters. Gotta stop having these roller coasters. You gotta believe. You see? You see what this looks like? This ain't no roller coaster. That's Jalen Hurts. A subpar game, 63 versus Washington early in the season. Outside of that, above the mark. Week 18, the last week of the season, coming back from an injury, 49-8. And then the playoffs wasn't great, except the Super Bowl. But that's what you call a consistent level of play through the regular season. Now PFF is biased against Tua. Ain't it funny how that worked, Nandy? For 2 years under Flores, PFF was biased under Tua. For 8 games under Mike McDaniel, go look at PFF. Go look at PFF. Then he started dwindling in PFF, and it's biased against him again. T. Rich said Jalen was surrounded by everything, but he played well. Hey, I ain't gonna knock that. You're right. But at the same token, look at the consistent level of play. It's about the consistent level of play. And this guy didn't play all that this year at all. This was his worst year. Justin Herbert. But what do you notice about Herbert? It wasn't great all the time, but at least it was spread out. Out of them playoffs. What did he end the year? 77-9? The same as his week 18? 1 orange, 2, 3, 4, 5 mediocre games, even more similar to Tua this year. And this is something that I've argued with a lot of people. This is Herbert without everything. This is Herbert with a bad defense, which is ranked 31st in the league. This is Herbert with one of the worst O-lines, ranked 32nd in the league. This is Herbert with fractured ribs. This is Herbert with receivers that's hurt most of the season. So compare this Herbert with the Tua first 2 years with all those issues. This is what Herbert looks like in a bad situation. You can't make this stuff up, people. Are those excuses? No, not at all. I'm only making the equivalence of what everybody said about Tua in year 1 and 2. I'm only keeping that same energy. Every reason y'all gave us for Tua's numbers in year 1 and number 2, let's apply the same thing with Herbert and look at how he fared. Way better. Look how he did. Way better. Now, you don't want me to pull up Tua's year 1 and 2 under them circumstances. Oh, you're going to find some deep red and orange all over the sheet. TD, your haters hate the truth. That's why I do it. Sizzle their spirit. It's that simple. Herbert only had 2 games above 80. I agree. And he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the 70s. That's 8 acceptable games right there. Then you look at the 60s. Those are the average at best games. Anything under 60 is a bad game. And he had one of those. Anything under 60 is a bad game. It's terrible. A F. And he had one. You know the grading scale. 1 F all season. Who else I wanted to look at? What's his name? Look at this bum. A consistent bum, but look at him. Same difference. 2 bad game stretch against Buffalo and Dallas, playoff teams, and 1 against Philly at the top, playoff team. Look at everybody else. Did his job. See, this is what you hope Tua's card would look like if he played all the games, but he still got the Patriots game. He still got the Pittsburgh game. See, those are the add-on bad games for Tua. Who else we got? I don't want to look up Josh Allen. He'll bum to me regardless. Anyway, I'm going to get off of this, man. I made the point already. Herbert will be much better with new OC, K. Moore. Well, they say when Tua had 3 different OCs, that is unfair to him. Herbert keep getting new OCs, and it don't really matter. But let's move on from that. Let me answer a few more questions because I'm running deep in my time that I was supposed to allot today. All right. Tua cancels interview. Was it immature? See, I don't be bringing these Tua things up. Y'all do, and I just address them because it's what y'all want, and it's all about what the viewer wants. Unless you want to be lied to, I can't deliver that. Tua cancels in interviews. Is it immature? No, it's not immature. Tua didn't just cancel on Sims and PFT. He didn't just cancel on them. He even canceled on Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee, they're actually very fair to Tua. And they actually show Tua love. They give the optimistic side of what Tua's going through. They always go with the excuses and that people make for Tua. So they didn't get to interview him either. So I believe what they say, it was a scheduling conflict and he needed to go ahead and end the day. I don't think it was immature at all. He went around, hit what he could, and got out of there. I think that all did rattle him a little. He was surrounded by a lot of people that didn't believe in him, and that probably rubbed him the wrong way. The Levitard show, they were filter free, but I respect the Levitard show more than anything now because you don't just see. I respect them so much now because just because you get an opportunity to interview a guy, you still speak your narrative that you do on your show. That's like Tua coming on TDPHINSTALK, and all of a sudden, Tua, man, we believe in you. We want you to have a great season. What do you think about this year? Man, we just think that you were so great this year when you turned it on. We loved you. That's some crap. One thing I'll say, at least they kept it 100, and they weren't disrespectful like people making it out to be. They were asking the tough questions. Some people felt like if you went back out there, you might die. Whatever. He doesn't believe in you. He thinks you're one of those people that's going to fail. Hey, but I love you like a son. Why does he have to compromise his opinion just because the guy shows up? Yeah, Lebertard had him flustered because he's used to people pandering to him. He's going to be flustered when you don't pander to him. Flores did not pander to him. Just because I'm interviewing you does not mean that I have to sit here and drool and make you feel great about yourself. I don't believe in you. And we get a chance to interview you. Keep it 100. I respect the Lebertard show. I respect them for that. And I respect Tua too to a degree, even though he was a little flustered. At least he sat there and took it. At least he was, wow. Hey, expect all of that stuff. At least he heard some of his haters right there in his face. And at least he sat there and took it. And at least, hey, it was what it was. You ain't got to believe. So I'm sorry. I don't see nothing wrong with that interview, and I don't think he snubbed the rest of them. Now, if he did say, I didn't like the Lebertard interview and I don't like where some of them are going with these questions, I want to end my day, then that's a different story. We won't know that. Only him and his camp would. Maybe he did and say Lebertard next. Man, I wish I can go to the other guys, but this is the way I can get out of it. Hey, I got a scheduling conflict. Maybe he wanted to avoid Sims them. Because 2 interviews before the Sims them supposed interview, they were like, do you know this guy named Chris Sims? Yeah, he doesn't like you. He always talking negative about you. You might want to stay away from him. That's what the other show said before he even went over there. Imagine Tua being on TD's show, laughing TD. Man, Tua be on this show. No, I mean, listen, I would give Tua the utmost respect. Tua, hey, I'm one of those people that I don't believe in your long-term as a franchise quarterback. And the reason why I don't is because I feel like, number one, you were brought in the wrong way. I feel like you should have been in a pro-style system from day one and allowed to struggle to the point to where you turned the corner year 3 and year 4. But now that you keep on doing these new systems, I don't think you're going to have enough time to even be successful in this league. I feel like these are the things you struggle with, A, B, C, D. Do you feel you struggle in those areas? And the funny thing is, Tua is the type of guy that would sit there and say, yeah, I feel that, I'm looking to be better all the time in ball placement. I'm trying to, have better touch on the ball. I'm trying to make better decisions and learn how to read defenses better. Not to say he can at all, he would never take that stance, but he would probably agree with some of the stuff that I say and say that he's striving continuously to get better in those areas. Tua's scared to move a muscle till 5th year sign. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. He might be really just going after that bag, man. I don't blame him for it. Hey, this is life. Even if it's just the 5th year option. I get it. But trust me, Tua ever got interviewed by me, I don't think he would have an issue at all. And I think that he would actually agree with a lot of my concerns, because the thing I'll tell y'all, just like his dad, I just told y'all I'm going to be critical of our quarterback until he's elite and a franchise quarterback. And he may grow to that point one day, but right now he's not, and I don't believe he will be. That doesn't mean he won't be. And at the end of the day, the reason why I say he may agree with a lot of things I say, because I believe that kid is harder on himself than anybody else outside of his daddy. He harder on himself than me. No, he ain't hard on himself than me. Not when he be going out saying, thought I couldn't throw the deep ball. No, I'll be still hard on him on that. But yeah, I think he would agree with some of the things I say, because I'm going to always say to him in his face, I'm optimistic that you can get it done. that these are things that you can improve to a point to where you prove yourself to be a franchise quarterback. And he may sit there and be like, me too. That's the goal. That's the goal. So it's just his fanboys that get all in their feelings when you criticize him. Only he's allowed to criticize himself. Well, I'm sorry. You don't run this world and tell other people what they can criticize and what they can't. There will always be people that do that. Miami D top 10 next year. It could be. Will it be, man? It's the again, we're just gonna say it's the Fangio factor. If we're top 10, it's only because of Fangio. If we're not top 10, it's only because of Fangio. If we're top 10, it's because of Fangio. If we're not top 10, it's because of Fangio. That's as basic as it can get. If the Dolphins are trash, you gonna still be a fan, TD? Am I not a fan now? I'm always be a Dolphin fan. But I'm gonna be a real one that call out they trash instead of sitting here and accepting it. And that's why it always happened, because we got too many fans that accept it. Too many fans is scared to call it out. Man, stop being negative. Have faith. Gosh, at what point do you say, no, you're just doing this wrong? That's the thing that I don't get. That's the thing I don't get. We'll let this team do anything wrong, and then we'll criticize the people that call out their behavior. You know when I knew we were far gone as a fan base? Why it's okay for us to lose? This is why it's okay for the Dolphins to lose. Because there's no consequence for it. The fan base doesn't care. They gonna pout, but they're not gonna care. The fan base is gonna pout, but not care. They wouldn't call for nobody to get fired. They wouldn't call for better. They just stay frustrated and get mad at their own fans that start to complain. That's one of the biggest issues with our organization is our fans. We allow bad decisions. We have a culture of support the bad decisions because what else can you do? Complain because you know they bad decisions. It's crazy to me. It's like a police officer walking in your house right now, putting you in cuffs. You asking them, what did I do wrong? They don't respond to you or say nothing, but you're in a holding cell in jail. You get assaulted, beat up. You get in front of a judge. The judge says you're going to prison for 5 years for battery assault. And you're like, who did I assault? And the judge doesn't say nothing. They just hit the gavel and the police take you to prison then. Then you get beat up more and assaulted. And you're in there sitting there like, what did I do wrong? So I need to fill out an appeal. You fill out appeal paperwork. You never get a response, but you're still in prison. It's like literally being locked down and you don't even know why. But it's okay. you call your lawyer and your lawyer keeps saying, yeah, but you still got to support the criminal justice system. It's okay. Don't be negative about it. Let the system play out. That's what it's almost like that's what some people need to experience. Just get locked up and get beat up and assaulted and stuff, and you don't know why, and nobody's telling you why, and it's people coming to visit you, and all they could tell you is just let it play out. Trust the system. That's what being a Dolphin fan is like. And everybody are sitting around literally just keep on telling you, trust the system, let it play out, don't be negative. You're here for a reason. You just have to understand that. And you just don't even know what you locked up for. But everybody just keeps saying, stop being negative. Stop crying about doing your time. Just trust the system. The system, it got it right. And if it didn't get it right, I mean, what else are we going to do? So just deal with it. Nah, funny math. You were denied bail. You wanted bail. The judge ain't say nothing to you. They just sent you. You ain't got a word or a say in nothing. You just really getting done wrong. And your own family sitting around you. Hey, I need y'all to help me get out of here. They doing me wrong. Trust the system. It's okay. Don't be so negative. At the end of the day, justice will be served. It'll work. Yeah, but I'm not hearing from my lawyer. The judge won't respond to none of my. Chill, man. Stop complaining all the time. Trust the system. Trust the system, man. Stop being a crybaby all the time. Why you always talking about your charges? Chill, man. And that's when you know you surrounded by a whole bunch of people that they not hurt like you. They're not as diehard as you. They don't want to win as much as you. They don't want to get it right as much as you. That's when you realize that. You are surrounded by a whole bunch of people that they don't, if they win or lose, it is what it is. They don't want to just win. You want it so much more than them. You want it to be done the right way so much more than them. You actually want to win. You don't want to hope to win. You want to build something that's solid where you feel that you are going to win. That's when you realize these people claiming to be Dolphin fans, they're fans, but they not in it like you. They don't love their team like that, die hard like that. They could care less if they win or lose. They like for them to win, but if they lose, it's okay. I don't like it, but it's all right next year. Some of us love this team because we followed it since we were kids, and we want to be on the mountaintop. We want those bragging rights. It's just like kids. If you ain't into Pokemon, you ain't into Pokemon, but some of them are. If you ain't into Dragon Ball Z, you ain't into Dragon Ball Z, but some people are. If you ain't into Naruto or whatever it is, some people are. But know where you are. Know that you may like the team, but you ain't invested like that. Then stop coming in these conversations acting like you are. Stop coming in these conversations arguing with people who are vested like that. Who it goes that deep for them. Another piece of proof that tells you that people don't care about doing anything the right way. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, people say, you still talk about Flores? You still talk about Flores? I got to be honest with y'all. One of the main reasons I talk about Flores and why I'm disgusted by what the Dolphins did with Flores is because I feel like they used that man. And I don't get into the racial conversation on this channel, but 0.0001% of the time. But I'm sorry, I witnessed some foul stuff from our organization with the Flores situation. I witnessed some foul stuff. First and foremost, y'all have to think of it like this. Truth be told, they were already getting ready to replace Flores because the plan was Sean Payton and Brady. The plan was Sean Payton and Brady for 2 years. Remember the first year when they were having conversations and the Saints said no? Y'all remember that first year when they were having conversations and the Saints said no, we're not trading him. That was when Brian Flores, before that season even started for him. And truth be told, I feel like they were going to do Flores the same way they did the boy over in Houston. Hiring a minority, go ahead and coach for 2 years while we rebuild, and then we get rid of you while we got the weapons ready to win. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a minority myself, it's a tricky situation because here we are tampering with Tom Brady, and I know y'all being snakes about me to begin with. I'm not finna get caught up in justification of why you fired me, because guess what? Let's say they would have found out that the Dolphins were tampering and Flores would have went along with it. And he would have actually tanked, because some of y'all get mad that Flores didn't tank. This is what shows me that y'all don't care about doing it the right way. Some of y'all get mad that Flores didn't tank. What do you think would have happened if Flores did tank and they would have got caught like they did? Do you know how bad that would have? It wouldn't have just been the Miami Dolphins getting in trouble, but Brian Flores might have got suspended. And guess who pays for Brian Flores getting suspended indefinitely until the NFL allows him to come back to be a coach? Guess who suffers for that? Every minority coach that is trying to get a job, and is more justification of why they don't get hired. It's a tough situation to be in. I used to have conversations with guys backstage and stuff. The Brian Flores and Chris Grier connection hire wasn't just about the Dolphins. That nucleus represented minorities. And they had to be careful. They didn't want to get caught in nothing foul. And I applaud Flores for taking the high road and making the right decisions. And then people say, well, if he was that moral, then why didn't he say something right away? For the same reason that when he said something, they denied it. Imagine saying it right away, coming out right away. They're offering me money to tank. They want me to tank, and I'm not doing it. I'm letting you know, NFL. And the Dolphins say that is a lie. Now they would have more justification because nothing happened. The Brady thing didn't come up yet. They would have had more justification to say this ain't a working relationship. He's been lying, all of this stuff. We fired him. It's your job. I just don't like how we handled it. And Flores had his things that he could have been better as a coach as well. But do not sit here and tell me the Miami Dolphins played by the rules, did the right thing at all, because they didn't. They were cheating. At the end of the day, we were cheating. As much as we sit around here and pick on the Patriots, oh, y'all cheaters and all this and that, our team got caught cheating, and you got mad at the snitch. You got mad at the snitch, other than the fact that you picked on the Patriots for cheating. So why aren't we mad at the cheaters? The contradiction is always present for Dolphin fans unless it comes to their front door. We always contradict ourselves unless we're the ones doing it. We got caught cheating, and we only got mad at the snitch. The snitch who was getting screwed over anyway. And I don't care what none of y'all say. I would have done the same thing 10 times over. And if you wouldn't have, that's your foolish self. Get used and get thrown out on the curve, please. I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. Ain't gonna use me. Yeah, I agree. If Tua was coming out of the draft this year, he would be number 1 overall over Bryce Young. I guess if they didn't see his NFL play, then okay. TD, sir, fair question. Are you a run first or pass first offense? And should you be pass first or run first offense? I'm neither. DF forever. I'm what the personnel tells me I need to be. See, again, we had this conversation about real coaches. Real coaches are going to be what the personnel tells them they can be. Pretty much is like this. It's like, say you got a run first coach. That run first coach is an idiot if he got Kalen Ballage in the backfield, but Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and Jamar Chase as wideouts. You see what I'm saying? So this run first or pass first, those aren't real coaches. Those are coaches who can only do their specialty is one thing or another. A real coach doesn't have a specialty, in my opinion. A real coach looks at his personnel and say, where am I going to get the biggest bang for my buck? So I ain't no run or pass. I'm looking at my personnel. What can we do best on this team? Let's do it better than anybody else. Let's go. We got an all-pro left tackle, an all-pro guard, and an all-pro center. We running that rock to the left every chance we get. It's that simple, man. Sick of these gimmick coaches. Well, he's good at this. He's great with the run game. He's great at that. Man, and you shouldn't be great at just one thing. You need to have a balanced approach in how you approach things. Everything needs to be a balanced approach. I want to be just as good running the ball as I am passing the ball, but I'm also going to be realistic after I try that to see which one is my strong suit and lean on that a little more. That's just me, man. Sick of this. He's a guru at this. He's amazing. The pass game is going to take off. Oh, this one's great with the run game is going to take off. Oh, man, our secondary is going to be great because of this coach. Oh, our run defense will be great because of that coach. Man, these ain't coaches, man. If that's what we're saying about them, these ain't true coaches. Y'all keep asking about my Madden career. I'm 1-2, but I'm on a win streak, baby. I beat Dan Mitchell last night. Your boy on a win streak. I was sound this time. The problem I have is throwing the ball. I gotta keep going through the Madden tutorial. Yeah, I'm going through the Madden tutorial now, and I'm trying to get gold level of everything. That way I know I'll feel good about it. And I just finished most of the running portion of it. And I beat Dan by trying to run the ball more, which means I didn't turn it over passing it, and I didn't fumble the ball much by pressing my R1 to secure the ball. So I beat him, and I'm gonna have some rough goals. I'm gonna lose some more games, but I'll get better. And once that passing game start getting better as I go through the tutorial more and more and more, because I don't move on it in the Madden tutorial until I get gold on everything. So every time they give me bronze, got to try it again. Got to get the gold. But I could see where you could become great at Madden if you really put the effort into it. I can see how you could become great. And I think the last thing that's going to be important for me is understanding personnel of the offense. So I'm showing what will determine which defense I pick. Because I just pick a standard defense. But once I know how to read defense in Madden by looking at the personnel grouping that's being sent out and knowing what plays best fit that personnel grouping, that's when I know I'll be that dude. But I'm getting there. It's still rough. I'm going to lose some more games, but I'm going to start winning a few here and there, and I'm going to get better and better. And then I'm going to smoke y'all bums that keep talking trash to me out there. Smoke you. I'm going to get so good you ain't playing for free. You got to put your $30 up. If you win, you get it back. If you lose, thank you for your services. And then we'll see who really think they good at the game. Yeah, that probably made a lot of people quiet. Oh, man. Yeah, gotta crawl before you walk. Yeah, I agree. You do. You definitely do. Oh man, we got a few more. We got 3 more here. Let me see if I can hit them. Because I'm over on my time, but I'm gonna keep going because we having a good time, I believe. Derek Carr released. If they do release Derek Carr, that'll be a good look for the league. He'll be a free for all. He's going to go to one of these teams that he feels is going to be him the best option to win, and he's going to be a starter. Just a matter of who going to get him. I'm not even worried about the Dolphins in the quarterback. They keep talking about this Trubisky stuff. I'm like, here we go again. Here we go again. Mitch freaking Trubisky. Lordy Jesus. Anyway, let me just shut up. Dalvin Cook to Miami. Hey, it's an option. It's an option. Dolphins stack up to Bills. Will they? We already talked about that earlier. I told y'all we need to stop trying to stack up to the Bills. Chasing the Bills is going to make you a loser every year in the playoffs. Chasing somebody who ain't even win a Super Bowl. Come on, man. Come on. We got to want better. We got to want better. Time will tell. He'll be released today at 4 p.m. guaranteed. Is today the deadline? I remember what's the deadline? Is today where all the releases have to happen and stuff? If you're going to cut a player, is it today or something? Because you're saying by 4 p.m. guaranteed. I haven't really been paying attention to the cutoffs. $4 p.m. for Carr. I guess just his contract. Today, if he's still under contract at 4, what does it become guaranteed or something? Is that how that works? Let me look up Derek Carr. See what they saying. Derek Carr expected to be released. Today's the day Raiders and Derek Carr will divorce. Derek Carr is about to kick off the offseason quarterback carousel. What Seahawks fans can take away from Derek Carr's situation, Raiders won't get anything back for Derek Carr, and that's okay. Yeah, they're right. He's going to kick it off. As soon as they cut him, all the teams going to be making the phone call. What we talking? Now it's just a matter of contract. Who's offering what? And now he gets to choose where he want to go. He'll have about 5 offers. He'll have about 5 teams that offer him money because they can't trade him. He denied the Saints trade. So that means he's still going to get the dead money. He's still going to get the money he wants from the guaranteed money from the Raiders. So I see what he's doing. And then he get to sit there and say, who want me? His agent take all the phone calls. Let's talk price. Man, contract price. Are you investing in me for 4 years, 5 years? Or are you sitting here talking about a 1-2 year deal? I think he gets a 3-year deal. If he go to a trash team, he'll get a 5-year deal. Oh my gosh, why does that make me a little nervous? I'm telling y'all now, certain quarterbacks on certain teams just make me nervous. And the Jets are one of them. I don't care how much you don't like Carr. The point is he's competent. He's competent. We'll see, man. Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all, man. I'm going to end it at that, man, because we're going to have this conversation later, too. We got to talk about what's going on out here in the NFL. We'll do a lot of that on TD Sports Talk. Like I said, we rolling, baby. TD Sports Talk. Time always tells. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I will see y'all soon. Thank y'all for tuning in. Turn your notifications on because I can be live at any time to kick it with y'all and talk football or basketball on Sports Talk. Peace. Love y'all. See you soon. I am out.